right. Shalom. Giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rach Akwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, your great millstone and teacher rule well. Shalom to the elect, the 144,000. Lord willing, we be of that number, pushing His truth all that in sincerity in the four quarters of the earth. Is your brother Tabar Yakwana coming at you with a quick lesson, Lord willing, is edifying. Spirits upon me to speak out on these women, man. And like a good number of brothers, I don't really like to speak on women like that because it kind of comes under a fleshly type of satisfaction, you know. When you know, if you're blessed, or I mean, if the Lord blesses you to get an understanding, a complete understanding of these women, and the truth is the truth, man. What's said in the scriptures is what is real, man. Is what is the deal, man. You know, so you may read it and even agree with certain scripts, but it may not really quite hit you, man. And hey, these women are just even sometimes the apostles may say something that that kind of like it's not scriptural, but it's in the spirit, you know. And I've heard, you know, the apostles say, "Hey, women, you just pop them," you know. And we come up in this society under that Disney spirit. At least I did when I came up in the, you know, I'm older. I came up in the 80s and 90s, and that Disney spirit was pushed real heavy, man, real heavy. Okay, and even prior to that, they have cartoons that cater to the woman and television shows that have the woman. You know, that feminist movement started pushing. So maybe even your mother may have took on that spirit, man, and pushed that spirit upon you, you know. So we don't really understand just how a woman's place is supposed to be, really, you know. You get glimpses of it by looking at the other nations, man. I look at Elam and see how their women are in order. They don't have none of the issues that we have, the so-called, you know, so-called black people, so-called, but more so Judah, you know, the southern tribes, Judah, Levi, Benjamin. The curses are hard upon the southern kingdom, man, particularly Judah, you know. So, anyways, you know, I'm going to entitle this, Remember She's Our Enemy. Okay? She's our enemy. All right, and there was a woman came to me and spoke to me about, said something like, what's good enough for the goose is good. She called herself trying to, you know, giving me a favor, I guess, when I analyzed the whole situation. So she was like, what's good enough for the goose is good enough for the gander. I didn't really think much of it. I really didn't even think on it, but I just told her, you know, I was like, oh, okay. You know, I'll meditate on that. So, you know, I took it to the house and thought upon it, and I was like, damn, let me look this up. So, looked up what's good enough for the goose is good enough for the gander, and this is what I got. Let's see. This is Wiktionary.org. It says, from earlier, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Other early forms include, as deep drinketh the goose as the gander. It says, What's good enough for the goose is good enough for the gander, as a proverb. Literally, what is good for a female goose is equally good for a male goose. Or what is good for a woman should be equally as good for a man, you know. And so, not to get too deep into how that fits my situation, but I'm just going to tackle that in particular, you know, because that goes into the whole feminist 50-50 idea that these women have drank up, man. That's part of the wine of America, which is Babylon the Great. That wine spoken of in Revelation chapter 18. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. How does the scripture go? The nations were drunk the wine of her fornication, I believe. All right, this is Revelation 17:2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants, Salakia. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore, that whore is America, Babylon the Great, that sitteth upon many waters. The waters represents the people. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth. The kings of the earth are basically the rulers of the earth, man. Those that are put above all the other nations, you know, those kings, those prime ministers, those presidents, so to speak. All right, who of the earth have committed fornication. Fornication means they made dirty deals with America, you know, in order to get those riches. All right, and the inhabitants of the earth have made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And that wine is the philosophies. One of the philosophies: idolatry, adultery, lies, murder, and one of them being feminism, man. All right. And so, you know, that whole feminist movement was kind of pushed upon, or was pushed upon Eve. You know, we all know that Eve was, she was deceived by that serpent in the garden, man. You know, which represents the spirit of which Esau is under, man. That's that serpent spirit, that satanic spirit. Okay. Let's go to Micah. Salakia. Yeah, 1 Timothy 2 and verse. Let's go to 9. All right. It says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in Salakia. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. So a woman should be modest, man, and that's far from what's going on in this society, especially amongst the so-called blacks, all right, and the Latinos, so-called Latinos, man. You know, you got the Cardi B's and the Meg the Stallions. You got Beyonce's and the Jennifer Lopez's. And they're all witches, man. All right, it says with shamefacedness and sobriety. That's right, man. A woman should be shamefaced, man. She should be bashful. She should be feminine, dainty, alert, ready to serve her Lord, which is her husband. It says, not with broided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. See, these women shouldn't be all talking all over the world right now. They're just talking everywhere. 1 Timothy 2 and 12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Yeah, a woman shouldn't be equal or over a woman, man. Right now, the scriptures speak on how a woman shall compass a man, and that's exactly what's happening. All right, these women trying to tell men what to do. It's crazy, man. The world's upside down. It says, but to be in silence. All right. Verse 13, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. So Adam came first. Okay. That shows a position of strength. Okay. If you want to get technical with the whole 50-50 talk. 1 Timothy 2:14 is the point. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. The woman being deceived was in the transgression. The woman being deceived was in the transgression. Okay, so she was deceived first, and she went off first, and then she caused Adam to go off. All right. So moving on, I'm gonna go to Micah, because these women are gonna feel it. They're gonna see it eventually. Just getting to the point of the meat and the potatoes of this lesson, man. They're going to see the reality of what's going on, man. Micah 7:10, then she that is mine enemy shall see it. So, that makes her an enemy, man. She ate of that fruit and spoken of in 1 Timothy 9 and verse 14, and that made her an enemy, because she caused Adam to go off. All right. And so that plays out to this very day, man. This so-called black woman lays down or acquiesces to the so-called white man. All right, eats up all his goodies, all his favor, all his WIC and his EBT and his child support, and all the favor that the courts give the woman, all of that. And uses it against, Satan uses, so-called white man uses the black woman against the black man. All right. But she doesn't, even if she knows, she really doesn't care to change. And, I liken her to Gollum in Lord of the Rings, man. She got that ring and she ain't letting it go. The precious, she's not letting it go, man. All right. So a lot of these women going to be destroyed, man. Micah 7:10. Then she that is my